You're listening to a Shockcast original. Shock.
The C Word with Callista. So welcome back to The C Word with me, Callista, where we get to talk to some of your favorite content creators and find out why they are so successful. So what's better than one from TikTok account, right? Two. And that's why I've got Malaysian TikTok twins with me today, Baetrisyia and Aniq.
What's up?
I feel like this is a story I should let you guys tell yourself. So I met you a couple of weeks ago and you told me the whole twin situation. So what exactly is different with you guys?
Just to let you guys know, we're not actually twins. The term is Irish twins because we're actually 10 months apart. But we were born in the same year, in 1997. So my sister was born in January. I was born in November.
So it actually feels like twins because our parents had to buy two of the same things and we were in the same class. So it feels like we were actual twins, but we're just Irish twins.
So you guys were in the same class?
We were. You
know how people always say like twins always have this like psychic ability with each other. Do you guys have that, or is it just like normal siblings? How does it work for you guys?
It's not so much as like, actual telepathy or whatever, but I think we've been through so much together and we do a lot of the same things together that we actually sort of know each other so well. Yeah, when things happen, it's actually, you go through the same thing. Yeah.
You just understand what like each other's thinking.
Yeah.
Just by like looking at each other, like you know what they're thinking.
All right, so to start off, I want to talk about your TikTok names. So Batrisyia, your TikTok ad is actually Apple Crumble, but Baetrisyia on Insta, and then you're Aniq on Insta, but Oh Kylo on TikTok.
Yep.
Why? And is there any meaning behind the ad?
Okay, for me, since my ad is Oh Kylo, I really like Star Wars, and my favorite character is actually Kylo Ren. So basically, the name comes from Kylo Ren, my favorite Star Wars character.
Okay.
For me, it's basically because I like Apple Crumble, and Apple Crumble was taken, so I took the more manja name, Apple Crumble. The difference between like Instagram and TikTok at first, because when I started TikTok, I didn't actually want anyone to find me.
as did we all, okay.
Yeah, so that was why my name wasn't the same as my Instagram name. It just stuck, I guess.
Also on TikTok, you sort of have like a persona. You're making skits, you're making comedic skits, depending on what sort of content you make. As opposed to Instagram, it's much more laid back. I think you want to show people what you're doing on a daily basis, good pictures of yourself. So I think it's just better to put your name. But as of TikTok, it's more of a different persona. So I think you can actually have a little bit more fun with your name.
So now that you both blew up on TikTok, who found you first? Like, was it people that you knew, or it was just random strangers and then people that you knew found you?
For me, it was random strangers first, and then people I knew.
Yeah, it's the exact same case for me. It happened so fast. Random people just started following us and then watching our stuff. And a lot of Instagram accounts actually keep posting our TikToks. So I think that's what led to actually people we know finding our TikToks.
So is TikTok your main social media, or do you also focus on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter?
We focus on all three, actually. Recently, I've started posting my TikToks on Twitter. And people on Twitter actually really like my content as well because I've gotten some traction on it. But of course, TikTok is my main platform. I don't post all my TikToks on Twitter.
I used to actually post a lot of videos on Twitter way before I actually had followers on TikTok. It was actually something I really liked to do. And Twitter was somewhat the only platform that I used to actually post my videos. But then when I shifted to TikTok and started posting there and started blowing up there, I found it more comforting to actually post on TikTok. But I actually do post more on Twitter, but not so much as I used to.
And for me, Instagram is more of like a place where I post my modeling pictures and just like traveling pictures and stuff like that. So when people see my TikToks and see how different I am on TikTok, and then they see my Instagram, it's like, oh my God, that's the same person.
Does posting on Twitter help you grow on TikTok?
I don't think it helps that much because people are mostly on Twitter.
Yeah.
When they see my content on Twitter, they might not go back to my TikTok because not everyone has TikTok and not everyone has Twitter.
Yeah.
So I feel like posting it on both platforms is good because more people are able to see it. So it doesn't matter if it helps TikTok or not.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of people have Instagram, and of course the older generation, a lot of them have Facebook, but Twitter and TikTok, there's a very straight line. It's either you have it and you use it, you're obsessed with it, or you don't? Okay, so I met you both when you both came into the Hit Studio, right? And if you don't know, Batrisyia and Aniq are so tall. How tall are you guys again?
I'm 187 cm.
I'm 183 cm.
Okay, and I am very much below that. So we actually took a photo of us as the Petronas Twin Towers. Did you think that your height would become good content, or it was just something that happened?
Honestly, we've gotten like the height thing as far as we can remember. Like people coming up to us like, "You're so tall. What do you eat? How do you get tall? Can you help us?" So
Same, just the opposite.
So I guess it was like pretty expected that people would like content relating to height.
To be honest, because I make content that I actually experience in my day-to-day life. So height is definitely one of them. So I feel like making content about height isn't really like something we expected to like blow up or anything. It's just like we were just making content that we go through every day.
Yeah, I have the same thing because my mom is white. So they're like, but if you're Caucasian, why are you so short? It's like, how do you answer questions like this, right? Well, actually, my mom's family is all very short as well. So it just runs in the family. Like both my parents are short. Yeah, I think it's a pretty widespread misconception that white people are tall. I think Americans are generally very tall, but because my mom's from the UK, there are a lot of short people.
Yeah, as for us, our parents are tall, so that's why we're tall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only answer you can give to people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it like actually doing content as siblings though? Like, do you fight a lot, or do you guys, memang have the same kind of humor?
Me and Aniq, we both like get ideas spontaneously, and then we share it with one another, and then tell each other to like give more ideas to make the videos more funny. So basically, it's never like fighting; it's more working together.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good way to do it, because I don't know, like me and my brother, we will just fight about anything anyway. Even if it's pre-planned, there will be a fight that will happen. You know what I mean? So in real life, you guys don't fight a lot?
No, we're actually really close.
Yeah, we don't fight at all actually.
So what is your favorite kind of content to create together?
Honestly, most of the time it's something we actually can relate to, or something that someone requests. People just tell us to collaborate all the time. So either we get ideas from them or we actually brainstorm together. But most of the time it's always sibling content or twin content or something to do with our height.
Yeah.
So have you collaborated with any other TikTokers?
This one time we went to a TikTok Malaysia gathering, and over there we actually made some videos with some people, but we didn't actually plan a collaboration. We just met up with them and then started making TikToks together. I guess that's what TikTokers do, and they meet up.
They just do TikToks together.
TikToks together.
Are you guys close, or was it just like a once?
So since we've met them only once at that one time at the TikTok Malaysia gathering. We only keep up with them on text or like on WhatsApp, maybe on Instagram.
Do you think collaborating on TikTok actually helps with your growth on the platform?
Oh, definitely. I think people actually like to see us with other TikTokers. Maybe.
Personally, for me, when I see two different TikTokers collaborating, it's like amusing to me as well. And I don't know, especially if it's like comedians that come together, that's really cool to watch.
Because most of the times, like your fans aren't actually only your fans; they actually follow a lot more people.
Yeah.
So when they see two of their favorite TikTokers come together and collab on a video, it's like really cool for them as well.
And for people who don't know certain TikTokers, like if you collaborate and then their followers might see you from different TikTokers and things like that. So it is a way to grow, another way to grow.
Okay, and how do you separate your own content? So you do your sibling content and everything, but what's the difference between Aniq's content and Batrisyia's content?
My content has a lot to do with life and things people in general go through in Malaysia. So I observe everyday life. I think about what happened to me back in school, in uni and things like that. And then I make it into content that's kind of funny and exaggerated, most of the time. So I feel like people like my content because sometimes they don't think about it, but then when I make it into a video, they're like, oh yeah, because it's relatable.
As for me, it's funny because we were talking about having it so hard to get off Instagram or Twitter, and that actually is my content. It reflects upon myself as well. And that was the first type of content I made that people actually really, really like.
All right, that's cool. And I was actually going to say, because both of your content is very relatable, right? So when things are happening or someone says something to you, do you immediately think in the back of your mind, this is going to make a great TikTok? Like, has it come to that? You know what I mean?
Honestly, sometimes people would say something and then like everyone laughs and then like, hey Batrisyia, that's a good TikTok content. Like people actually say it to me instead of me thinking it by myself. So I don't actually think about it at the back of my head. People actually bring it up to me.
I have friends that actually DM me some TikToks and they're like, maybe you can switch this up, make a little twist about it, and make it your own TikTok or whatever. So these people actually directly come to us and actually sort of give us ideas or like actually suggest us to do TikToks.
Okay, and do you ever worry like how your content is going to be received? Have you ever had to deal with any kind of negativity on TikTok?
I feel like TikTok is a very positive platform.
It's like a safe space.
It's a safe space for me. I can post anything and people will still find it funny, or if they don't find it funny, no one says anything. But on Twitter, however, if you post content, people tend to say what they feel, and it can be negative, it can be positive. So that's what I found myself realizing, that posting content on Twitter gets you some negativity, and it's something I had to like get over and deal with. So that's why I don't really post my content as much on Twitter. And
at the same time, I think that any social media platform, there's always going to be negative people. So I think it's good to train yourself to actually ignore them and having to deal with them on a daily basis, because you can't exactly run away from it.
We signed up for this. We signed up for a ton of people watching us, and not everyone will like us. Even if you're not famous, there are people who still won't like you. So it's like strangers seeing you. There could be people who like you, and there could be people that hate you. And
at the end of the day, you can't please everyone.
And you can't let that define you. So
How did you get over it? Like if somebody is just starting out on TikTok and they just starting to receive some maybe hate or negative comments, like how would you advise them to deal with it?
Personally, for me, I'm really, really good at ignoring hate comments. Maybe read it, but don't really take it too hard, because at the end of the day, it's like strangers telling you stuff that you don't need to hear. But at the same time, it can be criticism that you have to take into account. Sometimes you're making a mistake you don't really know. So I would say that try to separate positive criticism and negative hate, and actually taking it positively, and at the same time just ignore the really, really negative stuff.
Because at the end of the day, they're all just strangers. They don't know you personally. We don't know them personally. So why let a stranger's comment let your day get bad or something like that? So
just keep doing you.
So now your videos are constantly on the For You page on TikTok, right? So which is the video that first blew up, and what are your secrets to actually getting on the For You page?
My first video that actually blew up, I don't know if you saw it, it's the different types of ha's in Malaysia. So basically, Malaysians, they say a lot of ha, but they mean different things. Like, huh is what, and like, huh is like when you think about something. Like, huh. I just said the different types of ha's in Malaysia. It went to like 500,000. Wow, I didn't know I'm capable of getting this far. I started making more content that's similar to that, but in different types of ways. Yeah, that's how I started. It's like the different types of a word, that is used in different contexts.
My first ever TikTok video that I posted blew up, like right off the bat. It was a video where it was a trend. You snap on something on your computer and it actually comes to life. So I just did a twist about that. And in the end, there was an Arab guy on the screen. And I snapped my hands and I turned into the Arab guy. That was the first content I ever did. And it got like 100,000 views in like a couple of hours. So I was surprised. So I continued making videos. But it wasn't until I posted the app series video that I actually really got like viral and people started following me from there.
So Aniq joined during MCO.
Actually a bit earlier than that, in January. Similarly, my videos started actually blowing up during MCO.
Okay, saying that, it's all about the timing, right? When you do something, whether your content is good or not, it's whether people are seeing it. I think during MCO was a great time for everybody to start doing this kind of thing. But saying that, so is the upload time important, do you think?
I think it is to a certain extent. Posting it in a time when people are always on TikTok, it's important. But sometimes if the video is truly entertaining, it will get to people anyway. Because with TikTok, this is how it works. This is how I actually researched. TikTok releases your videos to a small group of people. And if it does well in that small group of people, then TikTok releases it to a medium group of people. And if it does well in that medium group, then it goes to a larger group. That's what I researched on. The time does matter, but also the content matters more. If your content does well, then TikTok will just keep releasing it to a larger group of people and a larger group of people. Honestly, the timing just makes it faster to gain more viewers and more likes.
I think at some point when you have a lot of followers and you have different people from different regions. At some point, maybe timing doesn't really matter anymore because you have followers from a different country or you have followers from here or there. And you're going to see it different times from Malaysian people anyway.
So since we're talking about analytics, are most of your followers Malaysian?
From my analytics, it shows that a lot are Malaysians, of course, but I have a lot of Indonesian followers as well. And there's also people from Singapore and a very tiny bit from Philippines, which I was very surprised of.
I think most of my followers are from the same regions as my sisters, like a lot of Southeast Asians followers. When we're doing live, to actually get people that say that, hey, it's me from like South Korea, or it's me from a different part of the world. So that's actually really cool to me that maybe a small percentage, maybe 1 or 2 people at least, they're from a different country. I find that really cool as well.
It could also be Malaysians living abroad. Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I feel, especially for Batrysyia's content, because yours is very Malaysian based. So I was thinking your followers would be mainly Malaysian. But for Aniq's content, because it's like your app series, for instance, around the world, everybody uses the same apps. So maybe it could have reached a different group of people.
I speak more Malay on my app series. Most of the time it's purely Malay. I just slip in some English here and there. But yeah, I think more people could relate to the whole concept of it. So maybe I can try, slipping in more English to it. Now that I think about it, obviously Malaysians are more inclined to watch my content because I'm speaking more in Malay, or maybe Indonesians can understand me, of course.
I actually realized that I have some English content that actually got millions of views. So I think that's where my followers come from different places other than Malaysia. Probably my English content that went viral. Yeah.
Okay, and how often do you post? And how long do you usually spend making one video?
Honestly, I don't really push myself to make TikToks because right now I'm still studying. My priority right now is actually getting my degree. It's mostly whenever I have an idea that just strikes up. I try to post daily, but I don't really pressure myself to do so. Maybe 2 or 3 days once. Yeah.
I think for me, it's like every other day. I also make content when I have an idea. It's really hard to actually come up with content and film it and make it funny because I want to make quality content, not like quantity, but when I'm lucky, then every day.
And how long does it take you to usually, from coming up with the idea to actually posting it, how long does that usually take?
10 to 15 minutes, depending on the idea. Sometimes it's a long video, so it might take a bit longer. But most of the time, most of my content is in my room, actually contents that I make for clients. That's where I put my most effort in.
My content is a little bit different. So actually the longest TikTok I've ever made was like the duration in which I had to record was 2 hours. It was actually my recent video. I think I actually played Google Chrome, Internet Explorer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that video took actually 2 hours to record and finish and edit.
He has to keep changing and he has to play different characters. For me, it's just like I'm wearing the same thing at the same spot.
Yeah.
Like for me, TikTok is for fun, right? So I don't do a lot of like original content, but I always see these trends that happen, and there's a lot of transitions or changing and stuff, and I always put it off until I'm like, you know what? It's not a trend anymore. Let's just forget it. Just because I can't be bothered to like keep doing that, you know?
We've had so many instances where we're actually like, maybe we should try this trend. And then we just keep talking about it and we didn't film. And at some point, people get over the trend and we're like, oh man, we missed it.
Yeah, TikTok is so fast. It's like fast paced. You miss a trend for a week, it's gone.
It's gone.
So for me, it was that wipe it down challenge. Like I was talking about it and talking about it, then it was gone. So are you planning to continue focusing on social media? I know Batrysyia's modeling and Aniq, you are a student. Any other plans?
For me, I think social media is something that I'm going to constantly be focusing on. It's something I want to keep growing at and reach a certain point where I actually probably make money out of it. For now, maybe after I graduate, my plans are to focus on chambering because I'm doing law. So that's going to take 9 months. So maybe after that, I can actually prioritize social media and like growing myself more online.
I will always focus on social media, no matter what I do. Right now, I do modeling as well. So I have a lot more free time because when I'm not modeling, then I'm at home. I feel like social media is a very good way of expressing my creativity and also maybe in the future make money from it. Maybe we can actually sustain from social media, but at the same time, I do want to start a business and actually experience working like in the corporate field. I have done it before. I have worked in a corporate field before, but I want to do it longer because I'm really interested in like marketing, which is also kind of correlated to social media. So I feel like I could be of use in the marketing field. And it's similar to what I took in uni as well. I already finished my degree.
Okay, and before I let you go, so do you have any tips for kids who dream of becoming a TikTok star? Like, I know a lot of people might be like, ugh, what is this? But let's be real, in this day and age, social media as a career is like a legit thing. So
Yes.
what would your advice be?
Your intentions shouldn't be like to get to a certain point, like of your social media level. Just do it for fun and do what you're passionate in. It could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be cooking. It doesn't matter what kind of content you make. You have to be passionate about it and you have to make it fun for yourself. You can't force yourself to do content because in the end, if you force yourself, it will become a chore. You have to do it because it's fun for you and you want to show something to your followers. Don't just make content with the intention to grow, because if you don't, then you will be disappointed in yourself. Do it for fun, and if you grow, then I'm doing something that's actually good for people and for me.
Yeah, just post what you feel like posting. Never feel pressured to post anything that people ask you to do or something people think you should post.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think when you're starting out, I think it's important to be very consistent, because if you're actually passionate about actually starting a career on social media or actually gaining to a certain point as a content creator, I think you have to be a little bit more consistent at the start. That's actually what people want to see, more of you. And if people see more of you, they'll be inclined to follow you. I would say that you would strike gold if you constantly be consistent in posting videos. People actually tend to like at least one of them, if not 2 or 3 or 4.
And one more thing that's important, aside from being consistent, is originality. Yes. I feel like being original is very important for you to get to a certain level, because people want to see original content. Trends are there, TikTok trends are there, and it's fun to do and stuff like that. But original content just hits different, you know, like people just want to see original people.
And at some point, people will actually know you for that. The moment they think about content that you make originally, it's you. No one else has done it. It's not a trend. It's not something that you see every day. It's coming from you. And personally, I think that's what makes people remember you the most when you're making content.
And I also feel like when you make TikTok contents, especially, because a lot of people in this generation, they want instant gratification and they want their content instantly. They don't want to see anything boring or draggy. So I feel like making your TikToks very fast-paced and short and concise, getting your point across, that's really important to sustaining people's attention. Yeah.
Okay, I think that was really good advice. Thank you guys so much for talking to me. And I guess we'll see you on the For You page very soon.
See you there too.
See you there.
The C Word with Callista.